If you are over 60 and your legs feel weaker than they used to, what if I told you the problem might not be your age, but something you're not eating? Because right now, there is one simple food, cheap, accessible, and almost completely ignored, that has been shown to directly support muscle strength, improve circulation, and help rebuild the very fibers your legs depend on. And yet, most people skip it every single day. But here's where it gets even more surprising. The people who do eat this food regularly often notice something unexpected: better balance, more stability, and even less fatigue when walking. And later in this video, I'm going to show you why this one food works so powerfully, and why one version of it is far more effective than the others. Because after 60, your body begins to change in ways that are subtle, but deeply impactful. Muscle mass naturally declines. This process, known as sarcopenia, can begin as early as your 50s, but accelerates after 60. At the same time, your circulation becomes less efficient, meaning your muscles receive less oxygen and fewer nutrients. And then there's inflammation, which quietly interferes with how your muscles repair themselves. So even if you're staying active, even if you're walking daily, your legs may still feel weaker. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because your body is missing something essential. Now, before we go deeper, I'd really like to know, where are you watching from today? Let me know in the comments. And if you're over 60, I'd love to hear how your leg strength feels right now. Because what you're about to learn could change the way you think about food and your body. Now, let's start with something most people assume is helping, but often isn't. Number 5. Processed protein snacks. You've probably seen them everywhere. Protein bars, shakes, powders, all promising to build muscle fast. And on the surface, it makes sense. Protein supports muscle, right? But here's what most people don't realize. Your body after 60 processes protein differently. It's not just about how much protein you consume, but how well your body can absorb and use it. In one clinical study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, researchers found that older adults had a reduced ability to synthesize muscle protein from processed sources compared to whole foods. What this means for you is that many of these convenient options may not be giving your muscles what they actually need. I remember speaking with a 68-year-old man who was drinking protein shakes every morning, believing he was doing everything right. But his legs continued to feel weak. He struggled with stairs, felt unstable when standing, and noticed his endurance dropping. When we looked closer, the issue wasn't effort. It was quality. Because many processed protein products lack the full spectrum of nutrients your muscles need, including key vitamins, minerals, and natural compounds that support absorption. So while they seem helpful, they often fall short. And this is where things begin to shift, because the next item starts to move us closer to what your body truly needs. And if this surprised you, if you didn't realize that some of the most popular protein options might actually be holding your legs back, take a second right now to like this video. It helps more people over 60 discover what truly works for rebuilding strength and protecting their mobility. Number 4. Plain carbohydrates without support. Now this might sound surprising, because carbohydrates are often seen as energy foods. Bread, pasta, rice, they give you quick fuel. But here's the problem. After 60, your body becomes more sensitive to blood sugar fluctuations. And when you consume simple carbohydrates on their own, without balance, your blood sugar rises quickly, then drops, and that drop can leave your muscles feeling fatigued, weak, even shaky. In one study from the University of Sydney, researchers found that high glycemic foods contributed to reduced muscle performance and increased fatigue in older adults. What this means for you is that even if you're eating regularly, your muscles may not be receiving steady, reliable energy. I once worked with a woman in her early 70s who felt exhausted after short walks. She thought it was just aging. But when we adjusted her meals, balancing carbohydrates with supportive nutrients, her energy stabilized. Her walks became easier. Her confidence returned. Because it's not just about eating, it's about what you combine and how it supports your muscles. But now, we're getting closer to something much more powerful. And the next one might surprise you. Number 3. Foods low in magnesium. Magnesium is one of those nutrients that rarely gets attention, but plays a critical role in muscle function. It helps your muscles contract, relax, and recover. But here's the issue. As you age, your magnesium levels tend to decline. And low magnesium can lead to muscle weakness, cramps, and reduced performance. In a study published in the Journal of Nutrition, older adults with higher magnesium intake showed significantly better muscle strength and physical performance. And yet, most people don't even realize they're deficient. I remember a patient who complained of constant leg tightness, especially at night. He assumed it was just part of getting older. But after increasing magnesium-rich foods in his diet, within weeks, the tightness eased. His legs felt more responsive, more alive. Because magnesium doesn't just support your muscles, it helps activate them. But here's where things get even more interesting. Because the next food doesn't just support muscle function, it helps rebuild it. And this is where we begin to move into real transformation. And if this part made you realize how something as simple as a mineral deficiency could be affecting your legs, consider sharing this video with a friend or family member over 60. Because many people are dealing with this without even knowing it, and your share could genuinely help someone regain their strength and confidence. Now, let's go deeper. Number 2. Foods lacking essential amino acids. Now, this is critical because your muscles are made of protein, but more specifically, amino acids. Think of them as the building blocks. And one amino acid in particular becomes extremely important after 60. Leucine. Leucine acts as a signal, telling your body to build and repair muscle. But here's the problem. Many people aren't getting enough of it, or they're getting it from sources that are not easily absorbed. In one study from the University of Texas Medical Branch, researchers found that leucine-rich foods significantly improved muscle protein synthesis in older adults. What this means for you is that without enough of this key trigger, your muscles simply don't rebuild as effectively. Even if you're active, even if you're eating. I once spoke with a 72-year-old woman who felt like her legs were disappearing. Her words. She hadn't changed her activity much, but her strength was fading. When we introduced leucine-rich whole foods into her meals, something shifted. Her legs began to feel stronger, more stable, because her body finally had the signal it needed to rebuild. But now, we come to the most important part. the one food that brings all of this together. And this is the part most people ignore. And if this is opening your eyes to what your body truly needs after 60, consider subscribing to Senior Health Support. Because here, we break down simple, science-backed strategies to help you stay strong, stable, and independent for years to come. Number 1. Eggs. Yes, eggs. Simple, affordable, often overlooked, but incredibly powerful. Because eggs are one of the most complete foods for muscle health. They contain high-quality protein, rich in leucine. They provide essential vitamins like B12, which supports nerve function. They include healthy fats, which help reduce inflammation. And they deliver key minerals like selenium and phosphorus, which support muscle repair. But here's what makes eggs truly unique: their bioavailability. In simple terms, your body can absorb and use the nutrients in eggs extremely efficiently. In a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, researchers found that whole eggs stimulated greater muscle protein synthesis compared to egg whites alone. What this means for you is that the entire egg, yolk included, plays a critical role. I remember a man in his late 60s who had nearly given up on improving his leg strength. He felt unstable, avoided stairs, even reduced his daily movement out of fear. But when he began incorporating eggs into his daily routine, consistently, something remarkable happened. Within weeks, his legs felt stronger. His balance improved. He began walking longer distances with confidence, because his body finally had what it needed, not just to maintain, but to rebuild. And that's the difference. Now take a moment to think about your own routine. Are you giving your body what it truly needs, or are you doing what most people do, focusing on effort, but missing the foundation? Because your legs are not just about movement. They represent independence, confidence, freedom, and the good news is this: you are not powerless. Even small changes, like adding one simple food, can begin to shift everything. Your body is always responding, always adapting. And when you give it the right support, it can surprise you. And now I'd really like to hear from you. Do you already include eggs in your daily routine, or is this something new for you? Share your answer in the comments below. And if you're over 60, tell me how your leg strength feels right now. Your experience could help someone else realize what's possible. Now, if today's video opened your eyes to how one simple food can rebuild your leg strength, then the next step becomes even more important, because even if your muscles are strong, they still depend on one critical system: blood flow. In my next video, over 60, this #1 vitamin boosts leg blood flow in legs 1 million times. I'll show you the exact nutrient that helps deliver oxygen and nutrients directly to your muscles, allowing them to function at their best. Because strength is only part of the equation. Circulation is what brings it to life. And once you understand that, everything changes.